Peace, infinite waters diving deep once again. We are out here in a mysterious art gallery, and it feels so good to be alive. 10 uncomfortable signs your third eye is opening. Let's just, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. So I have a lot of people on this channel who are really diving deep. Some of them are teenagers. 13, 14, and they are highly awake. And right now on the planet, there is a massive awakening happening because even mainstream channels are talking about it. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? Is your third eye opening? Do you feel like you are awakening? You're not the same as you were yesterday. So what is the third eye? We're talking about the Ajna chakra, the brow chakra, right here. And in the Indus Valley is symbolized as a red dot in the middle of your forehead. In ancient Kemet or Egypt, the Eye of Horus is a super powerful symbol. Now, the third eye is associated with the pineal gland. The pineal gland, lucid dreaming again, produces melatonin. It is the secret to going beyond this world. And that's what the ancients talked of, that this is not the only world. So the first uncomfortable sign your third eye is opening is that you begin to realize that what the ancients were saying in Sumeria, Egypt, that you're like, oh my days, Ralph. What is reality? For all you know, we could be living in a kind of simulation, just like the Matrix, where they say, what is real? Real is nothing more than electrical signals interpreted by your brain. Slow motion this side. Now, sometimes that can be very uncomfortable to realize, actually, there isn't just one reality. There are many worlds within this one. Now, the takeaway is that that's amazing if you think about it, because it means that you get to create your own reality. Like, how amazing is that? To realize we're not even seeing this world the same way as everyone else. So for me, I found empowerment by realizing, well, that means I can do what I want to because it's my birthday. I can create my entire reality. That's a miracle. The next best version of you will require new words, beliefs, thoughts, and actions. Slow motion this side. What is the second uncomfortable sign your third eye is opening? I get it. Don't worry, I get it. And the cat down the road definitely gets it. They just want you to be, wait for it, normal. Oh my days. They just want you to do normal things. Do you sometimes feel like the odd one out in your family? Is that you? Sometimes you don't fit in? Well, your third eye is opening if you are awakening to a higher consciousness. Indigos, what's up? So I started to realize that along my early journey when I was 15, I would be on the dinner table and I'm like, what am I doing here? Right? But I had to just finish my food and act like everything was hunky-dory. I know nothing, right? They want you to live a normal life. They want you to do normal things. And when your third eye is opening, you're like, what the hell is normal? And for me, the challenging part was I was awakening when I was pretty young. 14, 15, and there was no one around me who got me. And it's funny, like right now, people write to me and say, Ralph, I'm awakening, but where is everyone? Because my next door neighbor, well, I can't talk to them. And it's like the people who really get me are, in another country. Oh, don't worry about it. What I've realized and how I've connected with so many millions of people, indigos, people who are highly awake, is to realize that, look, there are people, it's what I call the extended family or soul family, who are there for you, who are going through a similar experience to you. And you have to start putting out your message, and that's how you start meeting your reflections, baby. Yes. What is the third uncomfortable sign your third eye is opening? 7-day vegan challenge. You are all about decalcifying your pineal gland. Now, our pineal gland, which is what the sages talked of as the seat of the soul, it gets calcified due to the fluoride in water, the heavy metals that infiltrate our bloodstream. So I've been a vegan for over 13 years. And it's funny because it can be uncomfortable when you are transitioning to a plant-based diet. A lot of people write to me and say, Ralph, what's going on? As soon as I stop eating meat and dairy, I'm having all of these downloads. Join the club, baby. Welcome home. Right? That's what happened to me. I stopped eating meat and instantly I began awakening to higher consciousness because I wasn't eating tortured animals anymore. I was realizing they are my friends. So that can be kind of uncomfortable because your body is changing as you're stuffing all of those cranberries in your mouth. But more so, the takeaway is that it's kind of fun after you get over that to decalcify your pineal gland from the foods you are eating. Spirulina will cleanse the blood, remove the heavy metals. Seaweed, fantastic. You got to look at cacao, wonderful. E3 Live, the most nutrient-dense food on the planet, will decalcify your pineal gland. So it's producing that melatonin to give you those glimpses that this is not the only reality. You're gonna take a trip, baby. Are you ready to go on a trip? Life's a trip anyway, right? Okay, what is the fourth uncomfortable sign your third eye is opening? The news. You used to watch the news. Do you remember that? I do. And I used to believe every single word. Now, sometimes I go to people's houses, they've got the news on, and it's very uncomfortable because you're like, is this the news or the comedy channel? And it's almost like you can see through the lies and the BS. And this time it's not belief systems, it's actually BS, right? And it's kind of like they're really into it. Your friend is really into it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And you're like, how can I explain to them, right? Now, the takeaway, when we talk of just taking away something positive from this, is to realize that, hey, it is uncomfortable if you are just tuning into mainstream news, but there are so many alternative channels which are really pumping out great information that will help you to see that same story from a different perspective. And that's what it's all about. Ultimately, it's about freeing our minds and not being manipulated by what we are seeing, right? What is the fifth uncomfortable sign your third eye is opening? Now, actually, opening your third eye is so fun, by the way. It's just uncomfortable at first, by the way. School. Oh, yes. Most of what we were taught in school, like you're breaking down when you're saying it, most of what we were taught in school didn't really teach us how to be human. So sorry about that. Don't worry about it. It didn't really teach us how to deal with our emotions. Like, who am I? You don't really learn that in school. School is more like an indoctrination center. So I realized that after I had left school, many years after. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they robbed me of my childhood. Give me my childhood back, right? Then I realized actually I got to start taking responsibility and say, okay, now it only means I've got to go to school again in the Earth Library. And that's what happens when your third eye is opening. You're reading new books. You're getting new information. You're going into nature. You're learning from different people, not just from a textbook. And therefore, you can never fail an exam. Oh yeah. What is the sixth uncomfortable sign your third eye is opening? Yes, jobs. A regular job just doesn't interest you. That's right. Like you tried it once and you tried to try it again. But it's hard. Okay, you're in a regular job, aren't you? Okay, and it's hard, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm analyzing everything. I want to stop this right now, Ralph. What helped me along my journey was to realize this, that sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Many people who are awakening, their third eye is opening, are sometimes in these jobs which aren't serving them. And my advice to you is to realize, look, you got a choice. Once you have this new awakening consciousness, you can really, once again, create your own reality. Start working for yourself. Start getting that business going. Start hanging out with the cat down the road. You don't have to be there. You are choosing to be there. And that's really what empowered me. Because you're like, regular jobs just mean just over broke. And you're all about like abundant living right now. Right? Right. What's the seventh uncomfortable sign your third eye is opening? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Love. When it comes to relationships, many times you're like, okay, do they get me? Do they see the world as I do? And sometimes they don't. Sometimes that's very uncomfortable because as your third eye is opening, you still might be in a relationship with someone who doesn't see the world like you do. And sometimes I get it. It is very uncomfortable. Happened to me once along my early journey. And I'm like trying to explain to them, hey, watch this. Do you know about this? Do you know about that? And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh my gosh, we got a problem. Right? I've realized that the best relationships, what we call the water relationship, is where two people have a similar level of consciousness. So the takeaway is to realize when your third eye opens, surround yourself with someone who doesn't call you crazy. That might help. Like be in a relationship where someone actually gets you because they have had their own awakening experience. And then you'll have so much more to talk about. It won't feel so forced. There won't be those awkward silences. You'll just be like hugging them all the time. What is the eighth uncomfortable sign your third eye is opening? Now, as your third eye is opening, what I found along my journey was that people start to fade out of your life because you can't tolerate that nonsense talk. Any talk which isn't geared around kind of just diving deep is hard to kind of listen to. So you're all about depth. You're all about deeper conversations. You're all about exploring. That's why you're reading and you haven't even read a whole load of those books you just bought. Don't worry about it, right? But you've still got a whole load of other friends and you really love them. They just don't get you. And that's okay too. What I found was that everyone is at a different level of awareness. I'm not here to convince people, to tell people. The truth can't be told. It has to be realized. When you recognize that, you'll just say, oh, I get it. But if you do find people drifting out of your life, it only means new ones are coming in. Slow motion this side. What is the ninth uncomfortable sign your third eye is opening? You have an itch, a scratch. It's the itchy and scratchy show. No, this is not The Simpsons, by the way. Right? You got an itch and a scratch to travel and to get off the grid. Okay? And sometimes getting off the grid means you are so sometimes fed up of cities and concrete. You just want to run away into a field somewhere and get butt naked and look up at the stars, baby. Right? Can we just do that? Right? But sometimes it's uncomfortable because you're still stuck where you don't want to be. But you have this massive awareness level. And sometimes you feel like you are outgrowing your society and where you are and your road, and you're just like so big, like you're just so open, and you're like, I just need to be in the middle of the ocean right now, in the middle of a desert somewhere, looking up at the stars, because I'm so done with this tired system. I'm ready for the newness, right? So what I realized, the takeaway from that was to realize that you can actually, if you don't feel that you fit into this society, that's because you came here to create a new one. Slow motion this side. And what is the 10th uncomfortable sign your third eye is opening? Okay, you're starting to connect the dots. And sometimes it's very uncomfortable. When you are connecting dots, what am I talking of? It means you are sometimes delving into ancient history and you're realizing it was because of that. That's why the world is the way it is, right? And then you're like, wait a minute, those ancient accounts may not even be accurate, like what they've told us. And that's sometimes very uncomfortable when you realize that everything you could have ever been taught about planet Earth could be, I'm so sorry, wrong. Oh my gosh. Don't worry about it. It happens to every person on planet Earth, right? When you realize that, oh my gosh, you aren't the only one, right? But still, it's very uncomfortable when you realize his story simply means his story. And what you were so sure of before about planet Earth, you're starting to have big questions. Even the shape of planet Earth, like what shape is it? Like, did they really go to the moon when they told us, right? You're having these massive questions and these massive epiphanies, like, I don't know anything. Now check this out. Because of that, when my third eye opened and a lot of my friends, some of they were going also through an awakening experience, it was very hard to pretend. Like when you are aware, and that's where it gets sometimes very uncomfortable. You can't go back to not knowing. You can't say, oh, I don't know what happened. No, once you are awake, you are pretty much awake. And sometimes everyone else around you is sleeping. And do you ever get that feeling you're the only one up in the house, everyone's fast asleep? You just wish you could talk to someone. Even the cat down the road is knocked off, right? So you can't pretend anymore. And that's beautiful. I'm here to tell you, beautiful indigo, star seeds, crystals, and rainbows, just share your story because there are so many other people out there waiting to hug you because they know exactly what you are going through. We can't trust what they've told us about history. It's time to start writing your own narrative and creating your own reality. The next best version of you will require new words, thoughts, beliefs, and actions. And once you start doing that, you'll just say, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello? Have a beautiful day, deep divers. How you doing today? Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Getting high. infinite waters, diving deep. Once again, stay well, stay healthy. Peace. You